Okay, so 1-1 draw for Kaizer Chiefs. I think a much needed point that Kaizer Chiefs was able to get from this game. Still some issues, some very big issues that Chiefs has to deal with, but sometimes you need to get an unearned point in order to go through. Now, we can talk about Ashley Dupree's missing a chance, clear chance that maybe changes how the game is. We can talk about how some of the players come in and don't have an impact. But I get so disappointed sometimes by Kaizer Chiefs in the first half, because we know how our first halves go. It almost feels as though Coach Nabi has a way that he wants to play, and he wants to force it in first half. And then by the time we play maybe how we should play, we are a goal down, or we are chasing a game, or now we're becoming very vulnerable. Let's start with the first half. Same old Chiefs, different players doing the same things. So you start out with Ditlokwe, Miguel Dotley. You have Frosla, Blom, Mart, and Teto on the pitch. So those are 7 defensive players, or at least 6 players that play more of a defensive role in Chiefs. But yet, for some reason, when we're being attacked, we don't have enough players covering enough spaces. So TS Galaxy was doing what everybody has been doing to Kaizer Chiefs over the past however many games, where they suck your right or left back up, they play a ball in behind, then they sort of try play a triangular pass or a cross. And Chiefs was under pressure a little bit. Now, it must be said that TS Galaxy didn't offer much. TS Galaxy is an incredible ball-playing team who make the worst final third decisions that you'll find. They make the worst decisions when they get near the box, where they shoot, they pass, or they try to be a little bit too fancy. But anyway, there were still spaces to be exploited. We saw Udi Tlokwe playing as left back. Left back, mind you, with 3 more. So outside of the 4, we had, 2 more players. 3 more players that could be called defensive. But yet we saw Ditlokwe playing as a left wing back more than a left back. And that caused a couple of issues where TS Galaxy caught us on the counter a few times and they attacked that left-hand side, which is something that we've seen with Cross, is something that we've seen with Santi, with Dove, is something that really needs to be addressed. Because last time we played against Polokwane City, and what Polokwane City did what Chiefs did after Cross got injured in that game was bring in Upotsane to play as an actual winger, and that took some pressure off of the defense. Obviously, we got a little bit too excited later on, but that's another game. So now I'm looking at the team and I'm going, we've now seen 9 games of the same issue. We don't talk. The defenses in 6s and 7s, no one is telling people where the danger is. We can't play out because even though we've got all of these defensive players and all of these defensive midfielders on the pitch, everybody hides. Mtetwa lost so many balls because he has the ball and there's nobody availing themselves to come and pick up the ball, to come and fetch the ball. They couldn't put together 3, 4, 5 passes because they were all so afraid. And I feel like that's one of the problems that Kaizer Chiefs has outside of the tactics and the quality of players and all of that. They all hide. They all don't want to be the one that makes the mistake. They all don't want to be the one that opens up. And what started happening was there was a pattern. Ball gets played to Mtetwa. Mtetwa's looking for somebody. One of the wingers comes and runs in, or one of the CDMs comes and runs in from the side. He plays the ball. They literally try and wall pass it, and it goes directly out of the pitch. They did that maybe 4 or 5 times. Now, this is where my frustration then with Kaizer Chiefs comes from. Because at some point, I'm expecting a coach or some of the senior players. Mart is captain, he's been at Kaizer Chiefs for a while. Abo Mtetwa are not new players. Abo Miguel are not new players. Abo Vuma have been with the club for a long time. Dupree's, I think he's maybe in his third or 4th season with Kaizer Chiefs. I'm expecting them to now go, you know what, guys? It's not working. Can we as the players get into the right positions and play the ball, or get into the right positions and avail ourselves, or get into the right positions and support each other? After you've been caught out a few times doing that, you have to be able to come in and cover the other person. If Uyabona Utumtetwa is getting the ball and is getting suffocated by the TS Galaxy guys who are just waiting for you to play a risky pass because nobody's there and you're under pressure to win the ball. Now you're expecting somebody to come in and pick up that ball and play. Nomtetwa. Take the load off of him and then work together. These players play like they've never played together. And after you see it week after week after week after week after week, then you start to wonder that, man, is it really a quality thing, or is it some of the fundamentals are kind of missing? And maybe Coach Nabi needs to stop being so friendly with these players and thinking that they're going to come up and have the quality out of the blue, or know how to play the ball out properly, or know how to do all of those things out of the blue. Maybe now you have to be a bit more stricter with your setup and say, no, Ditlokwe, don't push up. Or maybe play Mashiani, who clearly looks like a better player. Maybe play other players then who are keen. Mfundo was literally running back from the wing because he saw that they're not opening up. He runs back, gets the ball, plays it, makes a run. That's the type of oomph that we need. Now, I want to move on to the second half because the second half was slightly different. To his credit, Coach Nabi made the changes that needed to be made. He brought in more pace and power into the team. Now, one of the problems with Kaizer Chiefs is that we have a lot of effort players. We don't have a lot of thinkers. So Mdu will give you an effort. Mfundo will give you an effort. Saile will give you an effort. Dupreez will give you an effort. Ranga will give you an effort. But when they get into that final third, it's almost like it's too much of a burden for them to play the right pass. Ranga gave away a pass when Chiefs was on a counter-attack where he needed to just make a simple pass into the box from the top of the box, and he gave it to the defender. We see those type of things where now they put themselves in situations where they have to now cross a ball away when there was maybe a simple ball to be played. And TS Galaxy in the second half didn't have a defense that you could write home about. They didn't have a defense that looked confident. They chose to sit back and defend, and there was a lot of spaces opening up which we couldn't take advantage of. But like I said, you have a lot of effort players. And in the second half, when you start bringing on those players, it becomes a tennis match. And when it becomes a tennis match, you could score, which is what they did towards the end from all of the pressure they were putting on TS Galaxy, or you could concede, where TS Galaxy broke away a few times, where it was 2v3, and maybe if they made better decisions, something could have come of that. Or you look at the Polokwane City game last game, where they came in, it was 1-0, and then Polokwane City was able to score in the final minutes because Chiefs had pushed everybody forward. It becomes too risky. And I think what I'm looking for with the Coach Nabi is to create a structure that's going to look after these players that you say week in, week out are not good enough. So what I'm saying is, if we know Dupreez needs 3-4 chances in order for him to score, and he always looks good when he's standing on the line of the defense and the ball is played through because he's fast, then create 3, 4, 5 of those opportunities throughout the game so that you can get the 1 or 2 goals from Dupreez. I think I have an issue when my coach comes out and says to me, I need to strengthen players, we don't have enough players, we don't have all of that stuff. Because I feel like it speaks to an attitude at Kaizer Chiefs where we believe wholeheartedly that the right player is going to arrive and they're going to click and they're going to play. That you're going to go sign those players. Sorry to interrupt the video that I'm sure you're enjoying, but I just wanted to say thank you for all of the support that you guys have shown me and my Overthinking Football platform. I'm a one-man band that's doing all of this, and I really do enjoy the comments about how, you know, Supersport needs to come fetch me and SABC and all of that stuff. And I think it speaks to the quality of the content, but also the amount of effort that I put in. So I just wanted to say thank you. But the truth is that Abo Supersport and all of those guys, yes, we're competing with them, but it's a completely different place. The sponsors are looking for former players, and to be honest with you, running some of these things is getting so difficult, and things have changed at home. So financially, it's a whole different world. So I wanted to try something new and come to the overthinkers, the people who watch the content, and say it would be incredible if you guys could contribute monthly towards the platform, towards keeping my lights on, but also making sure that all of the crazy things that I want to do, that I want to take Supersport on with, I can actually do. And just for 20 Rand every month, I think that would be an incredible contribution if you can make it. It may sound like a little, but if we can get a lot of people behind it, then we'll be able to carry on doing what I do. I'll be able to carry on giving you the content and also expanding it, because we don't have shows like this, and us content creators need help from our audiences. So I just came here to ask you if you can. Here is the account number that you guys can use in order to contribute. And I think, yeah, I'd be very grateful if you would. But anyway, let's get back to the video. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And what we tend to do is we start to write off games. We start to write off, no, they were not good enough here, so I'm writing off this one. I'm writing off the next one. No, but you know our defensive issues. Instead of really working to find some solutions, we patch. Because I'm not somebody who's expecting Coach Nabi to win the league or win a trophy. I'm not even expecting him to come number 5. But in order for him in this league, where Polokwane are performing now, you know, TS Galaxy just jumped us now, where the smaller teams, Abo Kukune, Abo Stellenbosch, Abo Pirates, Abo Sundowns, there's plenty of teams ahead of us. So we can't be taking games off. You have to come up with something. You have to come up with, okay, fine, but let me try create a system for now that can use his strengths, so that when we do get those players, we have a top 8. We can play in the top 8. MTN top 8, we've moved forward a little bit. But sometimes it means sacrificing some of the big things that you want to do and saying, okay, the reality is that this is who I have. I don't have a Williams, I don't have a Kutsia, I don't have a Mokwena, I don't have a Reynas, I don't have any of those players. I don't have a Fukeng, I don't have a Tito. Here's the guys that I have. How do I make them more successful? If it means that we bring in an extra player for the defense, and we say we're playing in a 4, but we have 2 central defensive midfielders, one is going to cover the wing. Or we say that, okay, Cirino, we know that Cirino, example, he wasn't playing, but we know that Cirino, you're a defensive liability. Let's take you away from the left-hand side because it's putting pressure on cross. Can you go that side and provide cover? When we're in the middle of the pitch, okay, when Umtato traps the ball here, can someone, Mart, or Omdu or somebody come and avail, even if it means that for that moment we bring 2 or 3 players into closer to Umtetwa, so that then not only does he have an option, now the other team has to look at more people. That maybe we need to go back to some of the basics and stop asking players then who we all say are not quality to try and do higher grade things, because it's costing us results. It's costing us results. And for Coach Nabi, all I will say is, hey, the more you don't get results, the less your window closes. Everybody at Chiefs is operating as though we have an infinite window, and we will get back and we will do those things as if tomorrow, we'll wake up tomorrow and everything we fix will be fine immediately. Sometimes you need to work on these things, and sometimes some players will surprise you. I love Coach Rulani, I love Coach Rulani, I love Coach Mangoba, the coaches that we have, that we hold in high regard. It's the coaches that realize that something is wrong. Let me tweak it here and there so that we can figure out how to do it. Okay, Utito's not firing. Fine, keep it. So man keep Utito, I'll put Dlamini in to do this and I'll do this. Okay, our defensive suffering a little bit. I'm going to put in Hoto. I'll play him as a left wing, but we all know he's going to be covering. We need to find some solutions, because 15 games is a long time. 30 games is a long time for us to always be complaining about the next thing. And you might not even get that next thing. And I'm not saying that everything is going to work out. I'm not saying that every fix will be fine. But show us that we're moving forward. Show us, maybe I'd be asking for the Chiefs players to put up their hands to make sure that, hey, Coach Nabi's been talking about me like this. Let me show up today. Let us take the leadership of the team then on the pitch. Maybe he doesn't understand our football right now. Maybe he also needs to tweak some of what he's going to do and he's going to tweak going forward. But we can't leave it like this. Coach Nabi, you can't leave it like this. And every week we know that the first half is going to be poor. And the first half we might concede. We're the only team in the league right now that has conceded in every single game that we've played. So maybe step one is to stop conceding. You've scored 12 goals, you've conceded 12 now. Well, you've scored 12 goals, you've conceded you've scored 13, you've conceded 13. I don't know if that's good enough. So let's work on it. Let's find a solution for now. Because maybe, just maybe, even the football that he wants to play when everything is full and fine, it might not work in the South African context. This is a great chance for him to experiment, meet your players, learn about your players, see where they're strong, where they're weak. But if we're going to do the same thing every single week, it also becomes very easy for teams to plan against us. That first half, TS Galaxy looked like the better team. We did not get forward, we didn't have chances, we didn't do all of that stuff. But what I will say is, with all of that being said, sometimes you need 1-1s that come like this because it takes pressure off a little bit. Sometimes you need Ulchaisa, and thank goodness Balchaisile, because I think the conversation around Coach Nabi is starting to change. And sometimes you just need your lucky wins, your lucky draws to just buy you more time. Because in as much as everybody's saying that in a perfect world, they'll give him time, we know how it ends up usually. Not saying it will end up that way, but usually it ends up that way. So if you can prove to us, early on, what Chiefs was doing very well was attacking early, direct, we're creating chances, scoring goals early. You can excuse the defense looking a certain way. But it's these times, when that new manager bounce is gone, when the fans are starting to rumble, that's when now maybe you need to start grinding out those results. And maybe we'll see more of that from Kaizer Chiefs because they need to. TS Galaxy was on the bottom of the log just a couple of weeks ago when Ursi Dramovic was let go. They've now jumped the Kaizer Chiefs. We played versus a Royal AM that had Wandile Mpisane as a starter for the first half, and we couldn't take advantage. I'm sorry, I refuse to believe that, in as bad as we think the squad is, I refuse to believe that there's 9 better squads than this team right now. So we need something, and hopefully they can show some character in the games coming up. Bailed out today, thank goodness, but they need to show some character. They need to show something from there, and we need to move forward. Lastly, I think all I want to touch on really is I hear a lot being said about Chiefs fans and that Chiefs fans are emotional and over whatever. Can we also be aware of their situation too? Love the team. They buy the kits. They come out every year. They support the team every time the season starts, even when we don't know who the coach is, or you don't like the coach or whatever. It's been 9 years of trophyless. They're going to be itchy. They're going to be emotional. We're going to be emotional. Let me say we. We are going to be emotional. But the results are the results. And we'll be like that until the results change. That's just how it is. So can we also be appreciative of where they're coming from? And also, man, I know there's this thing of, no, you guys are like this and like that and like that. Hey, man, the truth of the matter is that it's 9 years. Any coach that walks in is going to have to carry that load as well. So let's be kinder to each other. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you on the next one.